learned quite a lot recently. I always grew up thinking that if I worked hard, I'll be successful. But as I'm getting older, I've come to realize it takes more than hard work to be successful. So I have three things that I have realized can really help me and really help you to increase the likelihood that you will achieve the success you want. So, we're meeting for the first time. My name is Irene Gathuru, and I am a transformation life coach helping other women who are empty nesters to recapture their dreams, live boldly, and live fulfilled lives. So, if you're watching me live, say hello and let me know where you're watching me from. And if you're watching me on replay, please drop a hashtag replay and let me know where you're watching me from. And I will circle back, check your comments, questions, and address them. Again, three things that you could do, I could do, you could do, I've learned are really helping me to change the direction of my success story. One is reading. As a matter of fact, believe it's like you look at people who are highly successful. One thing you will see that they tend to have in common is they're avid readers. So we think about reading. Sometimes I know sometimes tell myself I don't have time to read, but one of the tricks I learned and actually had to, maybe lower my standards. I didn't have to always read a book. I could listen to an audiobook. And one of the things I found to be helpful is to treat my car as a university on wheels. And so I always have something to listen to and that I can just download from the Audible, Amazon, a whole bunch of books. Some you can even get from the library for free. If you live in the US, most libraries will have Audible books that you can download for free. And as well, this is one thing I learned. Reading a book by Jeff Olson. The title of the book is Slight Edge. And what he said, if you were to read 10 pages every day, and you did that for 10 years, in that span of 10 years, you could possibly read 100 books. So the biggest thing, I think one of the things I find myself is I tend to think there's a lot I can do in the future, but until recently, I've really come to realize that my future is not predictable what happens tomorrow, but my future is actually dependent on what I do today. And so with that's kind of, excuse me, a bug. Okay. That was something that's really affected me. And one of the things I discovered, sometimes when I don't have time to read books, I may sometimes listen to an interview of the author, or sometimes even will use YouTube. I have found full unabridged books on YouTube, the audio recordings, and I've been able to be able to use that. The second thing that kind of will affect your chance of being successful is the things you listen to. So it could be the music you listen to, the news you're listening to, just all the things you listen to. Because the more you listen to tend to listen to negative things, you feel drawn to negative things. I love forensics and understanding the science of forensics. I used to love to watch CSI. You were to watch a lot of shows like that and understand the pathology and what happens in the morgue. I mean, what happens when people die, and then the pathologist has to be able to backtrack based on what's happening, the science and the chemistry of their body, what they find, to be able to figure out how somebody died. So while I'm really interested in that, but I found that as I continue, right, as much as I love the science of it, I found that if I watch shows like that over time, it does make me somewhat negative. And I find it a lot easier to find myself thinking about how something could go wrong. If I do this, it can happen. This is a way I could put my life in danger. And it's, if you, for me, living like that and living in a place of anxiety is very nerve wracking. And I'd rather not live like that. So I have actually hardly watch any of those murder shows or the police or anything. I just scrap them from the shows I watch. The third thing that can really, really increase your likelihood of being able to predict whether you're going to be successful is the people you associate with. So they've actually found, this has been found in more than one place, that somebody can look at the 5 people who, and I believe it's Jim Rohn who said that you can figure out, predict something about somebody's bank account, how much they weigh, just the type of habits they have, just by looking at the 5 people they spent the most time with. So there's a quote I think I love that really captures that. And a quote that's, I believe it's said by Tom Osborne, but it seems as though other people have used that quote, is that friends are like elevator buttons. They either take you up, or they take you down. So as we think about that, I remember thinking about as a child being told, like, you have to follow your company, but even in adulthood, we also have to think about the people we're paying attention to. If you want to be successful, you need to hang around successful people. And so these are the things that are really, really helping me. And so in summary, we certainly are not sure with certainty what's going to happen in our lives. But one thing we can do is be able to act today to increase the chance we'll be able, like, and I believe it's Abraham, somebody says Abraham Lincoln, there's several people being attributed to this quote, that if you want to be successful, that one way to predict success is by creating it. So in other words, the things you do today are going to predict the likelihood that you're going to be successful. So 3 things in summary: the books you read, reading avidly really helps. And at minimum, you think about, we have maybe 16 hours of wake time. And during that time, you read 10 pages each day. In 10 years, you can read 100 pages. And that's a lot, very life-changing. And your car, you can treat it as a basically university on wheels. There's so much opportunity for you to listen to audibles. There's also an opportunity to also listen to podcasts in place of reading that can really increase your knowledge and expand the way you think. The second thing is the things we listen to. Music, the news. For me, like, it's really helpful for me to listen to other people who think really differently from me. But I also have had to train myself to not click on these, like, this tantalizing headlines that say da da da, then I just want to click. Because let's face it, the newspapers are in business to sell newspapers. And we talk about how everybody was holding hands and singing Kumbaya. That doesn't sell the news. Unfortunately, the things that are negative are the things that stop on our tracks, that make us pay attention. The third thing is the people you associate with. Really, really important. To be successful, it's really, really important to find people who are a few steps ahead of you, who can guide you, who you can kind of learn what from their mistakes and learn how you can live, how you can up your game. And maybe sometimes you may not necessarily have people you're friends with, but just having a mentor, having somebody who coaches you to help you to get to where you want to, that's incredibly helpful. So I'm on here on Facebook on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. And that's Eastern Standard Time. And to get notification when I'm on next, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can turn your notification. And with that, I wish you God's blessings. Goodbye.